HLB has entered America for the first time in 2004, and the first place where HLB was seen on the American continent was São Paulo State, and more precisely the area of Batão and Araraquara. When the disease came as a surprise, we had to identify the agents involved in HLB, and we quickly identified two species of Liberibacters, Liberibacter asiaticus and Liberibacter americanus. But the major question that we had to answer is, what can we do? Can we control this disease? Can we manage this disease? I remember having said in 2004 that I could not guarantee that management would be successful. But what I did also, and stated it very clearly, that if nothing was done, it would be a disaster. Since 2004, 10 years have elapsed, and today we know that the HLB management that has been developed and worked out in São Paulo State works. We know that we can control HLB if we do the right thing. We know that we can control HLB under certain conditions. And the conditions under which we can control HLB has been clearly identified. One of the very important problems to control HLB in a given farm is the neighbors, the citrus orchards around this farm, which are not controlled. If you control your farm well, and you have several farms around your farm which are not controlled for HLB, it's going to be a disaster. So this is one of the very first problems that we had to face. How can we control farms around farms that are well controlled? These solutions for this problem have been found, especially through the action of Fundecitrus. That's a management system is called the TPS system, the three-pronged system, because there are three major components, three major measures in the system. The first measure is that you have to control the psyllid vector of HLB. The least psyllids, the better it is. If we could eradicate the psyllid, it would be wonderful. But eradication of such an insect is impossible. Of course, at this moment, we have to do the control of the population by insecticides, and even systemic insecticides for young trees for the 3 or 1st year of the young trees. The second measure, as important as the first measure, is identification of trees which are infected by the causal agent of HLB, by the Liberibacters. The major sources of inoculum on which the psyllid become contaminated are the sweet orange trees in the orchard and around the orchard. Sweet orange in São Paulo State is a major host of the Liberibacter. Therefore, we must remove the infected tree. However, unfortunately, we cannot remove 100% of the infected trees in an orchard, because at a given time, some trees do show symptoms because they are infected, but other trees do not yet show symptoms because the symptoms have had no time yet to develop. Therefore, we can only remove the trees that show symptoms, and this is what has to be done. The second measure, in summary, is then removal of the affected trees in the orchard. These two measures, control of the psyllid population and removal of the source of inoculum on which the psyllid population becomes contaminated, are both absolutely required. You cannot do one without doing the other. You cannot only control psyllids without removing the affected trees. You must do the two. And there is a third method. A third method, which is when you remove relatively young trees, because they are affected, you can replace those trees by healthy trees which have to be produced by law in covered nurseries under insect-proof conditions, so that we are sure that the nursery trees which come out of these covered insect-proof nurseries are free of HLB. So In summary, control of the psyllid population, removal of the affected trees because they are sources of inoculum, and 3, replacement of the eradicated trees by healthy young trees. Now, it sounds simple by just enumerating these 3 measures. It is more complicated, and the work has to be done extremely well. You cannot relax doing this work. So this work has to be at every moment perfect. Very important also is the size of the farm. Very important is the shape of the farm. And very important is the fact that the psyllids are more concentrated on the borders of farms than inside the farm. Therefore, borders must receive a special treatment. In summary, we have identified many of the factors which make HLB management successful in São Paulo state. What is the result? After 10 years of operation, the result is remarkable, unique in the world. Namely, São Paulo state has now 200,000 hectares, I repeat, 200,000 hectares of citrus with less than 1% HLB, which means that São Paulo has 200,000 hectares with 99% of healthy trees. Okay? This is absolutely remarkable, and it is a proof that the HLB management, as recommended in São Paulo state, works. Therefore, the HLB management, as of today, must be continued, should by no means be abandoned. We have a good tool in our hands. We should not throw this tool away. In particular, because many people believe today, and in particular in Florida, that the solution of HLB resides in genetically modified trees, in other words, in transgenic trees. Many laboratories work on this problem, including Fundecitrus. Fundecitrus has 3 or 4 excellent projects to produce trees that repel the psyllid or trees that will be toxic for the psyllid, for the Liberibacter. So Fundecitrus is totally aware of this and works along these lines. However, at this moment, because of the success of HLB management in São Paulo state, we have a few years ahead of us to prepare these transgenic trees, to get them ready, to have the best possible transgenic trees for the future. But this will not be before 5 to 10 years, if not 10 to 15 years. So we have to have time to get these hopefully resistant trees or repelling trees ready. In the meantime, we must continue the management system that has proved to be successful in São Paulo state. By no means should this management be abandoned now. In particular, not abandoned for such strange solutions as the spray of so-called cocktails on sweet orange trees. This system of spraying mineral nutrients and so on and etc. on trees was developed in Florida. Since we wanted to have our own experience with this so-called system of spraying cocktails on the trees, we have developed in São Paulo state a huge experiment on tens of hectares of sweet orange trees. And we are now already in the 3rd year of this experiment. And what we can say today, after 3 years, that none of the formula of the cocktail, whatever we put in the cocktail, none of these treatments has had any effect on any parameter that you can imagine. No effect on production and no effect on the health of the tree. So, to summarize and to finish, to conclude, São Paulo state is the only place in the world where, because of the excellent work of many companies and many agronomists, and in particular the scientists of Fundecitrus. Because of this hard work, we have developed in São Paulo State a management system that works. It would be a crime, in my opinion, to stop this HLB management. By continuing this management, we are gaining time for the transgenic trees to become available, but we don't know when this will be. We are not 100% sure that it will be possible, and therefore we should not throw away something that works well in our heads.